So the Golden Globes were last night, and I have to say, they were full of a fair few amount of surprises, but also a fair amount of things that kind of were expected to happen. I'm attempting to show you guys sort of the process that I take in making my winners predictions, which will eventually come out once the Oscar nominations come out. So I'm sort of trying to showcase that process, and the Golden Globes usually aren't too much of a factor, but this year they very much became one. So I want to go over the main categories and talk about how the Golden Globes are going to be affecting the Oscars this year in terms of what won the Golden Globe and what I believe will win the Oscar, what might have swayed me, or what might have just been a Golden Globe choice. So starting with screenplay. The Golden Globes does screenplay in an unusual way compared to the Oscars. They simply do best screenplay, whereas the Oscars splits it into original and adapted screenplay. So the original screenplay is something that someone just came up with, but adapted is based on something. It's like The Martian or Steve Jobs, which is a similar case. Last year, Steve Jobs actually won the Golden Globe for best screenplay overall, but didn't even receive a nomination last year for the Oscars for Best Adapted Screenplay, let alone not even a win. So screenplay's always been kind of shaky at the Oscars, or at the Golden Globes, and I don't trust it all that much, and I think that's sort of continued with this year. Despite the fact that La La Land was my favorite movie of the year, and I think it's a heavy favorite for a lot of Oscars, I don't think it's going to take Best Screenplay at the Oscars. I believe Manchester by the Sea, La La Land will be nominated for Best Original Screenplay, which will be up against Manchester by the Sea, which I think is going to take it. That's the Academy's screenplay. It just is. It's one of those. And the screenplay is debatedly the best part of Manchester by the Sea. It's what makes it so human and real and gripping. And that's why I believe it's going to take that award at the Oscars. I think Kenneth Lonergan was kind of shocked when he didn't get the award, but I do think he'll take it at the Oscars. That category at the Golden Globes didn't necessarily sway me, particularly seeing their history with the Best Screenplay award. So getting into the supporting category, starting with supporting actress, yeah, nothing new here. I think Viola Davis is just gonna sweep everything. I think she'll take this, and the SAG, and the BAFTA, and eventually I do think she'll take the Oscar. I don't see my prediction for this changing. I think if you can be looking to one thing, it's that when I release my winners predictions, you'll probably be seeing me pick Viola Davis. I think it's her year. I think it's her time. I don't think anyone else in that category really stands a chance going against her. I think that one's pretty clear-cut. Supporting actor, on the other hand, that was interesting. Last year, Sylvester Stallone took the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor, which he was a lot of people's big favorite for the Oscars, but Mark Rylance came in, and most people, including myself, consider that to be an upset. I think it absolutely was. I was shocked when he won. Last night, they flip-flopped. Aaron Taylor-Johnson won for Nocturnal Animals. You watched my Golden Globe nomination reactions. I was shocked when he was nominated. I think a lot of people are really surprised about this. He was up against Mahershala Ali, Jeff Bridges, Dev Patel, Simon Helberg, who Simon Helberg will not be nominated for the Oscar. And to be quite honest with you, Aaron Taylor-Johnson wasn't in my Oscar nomination predictions, and I'm not changing that. I don't believe he's going to be nominated for the Oscar. I'm sticking to that prediction, but it is far too soon to make any kind of call on the Oscars for this race, in my opinion. People say that Mahershala Ali is a huge front runner. I thought he was excellent. He leaves a great lasting impact on the entirety of Moonlight. I think he's great. And I would not be shocked in any way if he won, but I do not see him as a front runner. I don't think like it's his race. This, for me, is pretty up in the air. I think it's going to come down to who takes the SAG and the BAFTA. Last year, Mark Rylance did take the BAFTA. I don't remember who took the SAG, but it's really going to come down to those two in terms of, and even who gets nominated. It's sort of a tight race as to who gets nominated. You saw last night, Lucas Hedges was left out. Big nomination that I think could be actually put in there. Michael Shannon, even for Nocturnal Animals, could be thrown into the nomination. So I think even with the Golden Globe win for Aaron Taylor Johnson, it's simply far too soon to tell who could take that. I have to wait personally for a couple more shows to happen before I even start to make a prediction on Best Supporting Actor. Best leading categories, I'm kind of going to talk about these weird because you have the musical comedy stuff. But let me just touch on La La Land really quick, because Jesus Christ. I knew it would sweep. I knew it would take a lot of the big awards. I didn't think it would take all 7. I didn't think it would take screenplay. And I will admit, I was shaky on Ryan Gosling taking the Golden Globe. I thought Ryan Reynolds had a very good chance for Deadpool. I was sort of expecting maybe even a surprise in the Best Actor, Comedy, or Musical category. But the second that the show came on and the entire opening was based around La La Land, I sort of started to realize, well, shit, we're going to be seeing a lot of La La Land, which is awesome. That's amazing, because I love that movie. I do think Ryan Gosling will get an Oscar nomination. I don't necessarily think he'll take the win. I think if I had to put him in a place, he'd be in 3rd place, but that doesn't necessarily mean in my eyes he has a huge shot of taking the win. I think he's a further down 3rd place. Kind of like Benedict Cumberbatch a couple years back when he was up against Michael Keaton and Eddie Redmayne. I think Michael Keaton and Eddie Redmayne were in like that big, tight race, and then if you went down a ways, you'd see Benedict Cumberbatch. I think that's sort of the position Ryan Gosling is in. It would be a pretty solid shock if he won, but I wouldn't, be flipping my TV and just freaking out. Like, it wouldn't be a shock to me. Emma Stone taking musical comedy, just something that was going to happen. Another sort of set in stone one, I think, for La La Land. Do I think she'll take the Oscar? I don't know. I think the Best Leading Actress race right now is sort of tight. Natalie Portman, I think, has a very solid shot after seeing Jackie, simply because she is that movie. She's that entire movie, and I think she has a solid shot of winning. I do think Emma Stone also does. I think she's a solid frontrunner. But Isabelle Huppert last night, taking the Golden Globe, does start you thinking, okay, maybe she is a possible contender for this Oscar. It's not unheard of to have a foreign actress win the award. Marion Cotillard did it a few years back, I think 2007, for La Vie en Rose. She won the Golden Globe, and I believe she won the BAFTA too, so Isabelle Huppert is now one to certainly look out for. If she starts swooping in some more awards like the BAFTA, then I think more eyes are going to get turned on her as to say, hey, Emma Stone and Natalie Portman aren't the top 2. Isabelle Huppert is in there because she just beat out Natalie Portman last night, which I think is a big win for her in terms of moving to the Best Leading Actress category. So I don't see a lock-in for this one either. I see this as a tight race between a few. I don't necessarily think someone like Amy Adams really has a crazy shot, or Annette Bening. I think we'll have to wait and see with those. But this is one, just watch the rest of the shows, and whether Isabelle Huppert shows up or not is going to be a big tell for me as to who could win this category. Best Actor in a Drama went to Casey Affleck. And in my opinion, right now, the Best Leading Actor category, I said this in my nominations predictions, is between 2. It's between Casey Affleck and it's between Denzel Washington. And I still do think this one is too close to call. Casey Affleck taking the Golden Globe, in my opinion, is a big step. And I do believe if Casey Affleck takes the SAG, that's it. I think if he takes the SAG award, I will basically be locking him in as my pick for the winner of Best Performance by an Actor in a Leading Role for the Oscars. But if Denzel takes the SAG, then I think we can really start to have a conversation. Right now it is really too early to say anything, in my opinion. I'm not 100% confident in either of the choices. I think they're both great in the movies they're in, and I really like both of their movies, but I do think it's a little too close right now. If I had to lean towards one at the moment, I'd lean towards Casey Affleck, simply due to the fact that Viola Davis is such a great supporting actress, and I think she'll take the Oscar, and the fact that she's consistently able to steal the scenes from Denzel Washington, and she's on screen a lot, that would be the reason that right now I'd be leaning towards Casey Affleck, but I am waiting for the SAG Awards. And Best Picture, yes, Moonlight took Best Picture Drama, but, I mean, come on. If Damien Chazelle doesn't win Director at the Oscars, I'm going to flip my shit. I think that's another lock. I think he's absolutely set in to win that. that award, whether his movie wins Best Picture or not. I think Damien Chazelle is absolutely going to take Best Director. But right now, I'm sticking to my guns. I would, if I had to predict right now the winners, I would say La La Land is going to take Best Picture. Yes, Moonlight took Best Picture Drama, and I think Moonlight, in terms of contention, would certainly be up there right now. And maybe, you know, as shows go along and Moonlight starts winning more against La La Land, then we can start to see something, because we haven't seen La La Land, in terms of Best Picture, be pitted against anything else yet that has contention at a big award show. Last night, I mean, there was no chance in hell it was going to lose. It was 20th Century Women, Deadpool, Florence Foster Jenkins, and Sing Street. I've seen Sing Street and Deadpool. I haven't seen 20th Century Women yet. Didn't see Florence Foster Jenkins. So, you know, the ones I had seen, Sing Street and Deadpool are both great, but they stood no chance against La La Land. And I think it is a front runner for me right now, but once we start seeing it face off against big contenders like Manchester by the Sea and like Moonlight, I think we'll really be able to start to tell and make bigger and just overall more courageous nomination or winning predictions. So that's my opinion on how the Golden Globes are going to affect the Oscars and my predictions. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to be trying to walk you guys through my process. Look for more of these kinds of videos. You'll probably see, you won't see my winners predictions until after the SAGs, because I do think I have to watch the SAGs before I can even make a winners predictions. So keep looking out for videos like this. I plan on pumping out more and more as time goes on. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.